There's something about failure that makes the world feel heavier. It was a cold morning when Ethan slipped his hand into a baseball glove that didn't quite fit. It belonged to his older brother, 5 years older, stronger, more talented, already drafted. Ethan's hand felt swallowed, awkward, and too small. But he kept trying. Every morning before school, every evening after dinner, he kept pushing his hand into that glove, practicing pitches in the backyard. Hoping, somehow, he'd grow into it. But this story isn't about baseball. Not really. It's about something deeper. It's about the spaces we grow into. The dreams that don't fit yet. The things we reach for before we're ready. The glove was just a symbol. Ethan didn't make the team that year. Or the year after. His name wasn't called, not even once. Coaches shrugged. Not strong enough. Too slow. Maybe next year. Those words, they stay with you. Especially when you're 13, then 14, and the world starts measuring your worth in wins and numbers. It wasn't just sports. At school, he was the quiet one. The last to be picked for projects. The one who knew the right answers but never raised his hand. There were days he'd walk home in silence, the weight of not being seen pressing into his shoulders like that glove that never quite fit. But Ethan did something that most people overlook. He stayed. He stayed when it hurt. He stayed when it was awkward. He stayed when the glove slipped off his hand and he couldn't catch the ball. He stayed through the missed chances and the silent lunches. He stayed through the losses. And slowly, almost invisibly, he began to grow. Growth doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it arrives in the quiet. In the patience. In the lonely hours where no one's watching. That's where Ethan began to change. His hands grew stronger. His reflexes sharper. But more than that, his belief deepened. He learned that greatness isn't loud. It's not always trophies and applause. Sometimes, it's a whisper that says, try again. By 17, Ethan was still the second-string pitcher. Still the backup. Still wearing the same glove, now worn but finally fitting. One day, the star player got injured. The coach looked down the bench. Ethan, you're up. It was just one game. But he pitched a no-hitter. After that, the world started paying attention. Scouts called. Colleges reached out. But by then, Ethan wasn't chasing approval. He wasn't looking for anyone to tell him he mattered. He already knew. He'd grown into his glove and his purpose. That's what I want to remind you of today. Sometimes the thing you want the most doesn't fit right away. The job you dream of. The relationship you pray for. The opportunity you chase. Sometimes, it just doesn't fit yet. And when that happens, it's easy to believe the lie that it never will. But hear me clearly. Not fitting yet doesn't mean it never will. You are not failing, you are forming. You are forming. You are not being denied, you are being developed. The pain you feel right now is not a punishment. It's preparation. The glove you're trying to wear, the purpose you're meant to fulfill, the role you're hoping to step into, it's not too big for you. It's designed for the version of you that's still unfolding. Ethan didn't become a pro overnight. He didn't even make varsity until senior year. But he showed up. He stayed ready. And when his moment came, he didn't panic, he delivered. You will, too. Not because it will be easy. But because you've been preparing in the quiet. You've been showing up even when it hurts. Practicing even when no one claps. Believing even when the evidence is thin. And that is where transformation happens. That's where faith becomes power. The world may not see your growth yet, but that doesn't mean you're not growing. The world may not recognize your potential yet, but that doesn't mean you're not powerful. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be brave enough to keep showing up for yourself. Like Ethan did. And when that glove fits, when your moment comes, you'll realize it was never about the glove. It was always about who you became while waiting. So if you're tired, if you're doubting, if you feel like nothing's clicking and everything is too big or too far, breathe. This is not the end of your story. It's just a chapter where you're being stretched. A chapter where you're being shaped. A chapter where you're learning to believe in yourself when nobody else does. And that, my friend, is the chapter that makes all the difference. Because one day, someone will look at you and think, it must have been easy for them. And you'll smile quietly, knowing just how hard you had to fight to grow into who you are. So stay the course. Trust the timing. Keep showing up. Your glove will fit. Just not yet. But it will. And when it does, it'll be worth every quiet morning, every overlooked day, every lonely hour. Because the version of you that finally wears it will have earned it. You already have what it takes. You're not too small. You're not behind. You're not lost. You're just not done growing. Let this be your reminder: the glove that doesn't fit today might be the one you're destined to wear tomorrow. If this message spoke to something inside you, I hope you'll take a moment to share it with someone else who might need it too. Subscribe for more stories that help you breathe, believe, and become. And if today was hard, remember, you're not alone. Your moment is coming. Thanks for listening.